Right, so I've had a lot of success lately with the International Space Station contacts, APRS and voice. And it's partly down to this app. It's very useful to have. I'm on iPhone here, it's also on Android. So to get it started, when you start, there's probably nothing going to be selected. You haven't selected anything to track. And I have paid for this version, so I get amateur radio satellites as well. But on the basic version, you'll get the ISS. So upcoming sightings, to the right of that, there's a triangle. So I'll touch on that. And there's extensions that you can bring up. So I want to know where the ISS is. And now I've got extra options. I can turn on notifications, which are handy. Minimum elevation, all. Magnitude threshold, all. Now this is an important one. Visible sightings only. If you want to actually see it and stand outside and see it go by, make sure you've got visible sightings on. But I turn it off because I like to work the space station in the daytime when you can't see it. So minimum quality. So you can, I leave these as default, but you can actually alter where it says all on the right. You can alter all of these by touching on the word all, but I like to keep that as default. Chinese space station, I might as well know where that is. Starlink, you can see all the satellites going past in a line. That's always interesting. But for amateur radio, it's best to have the ISS on and amateur radio satellites, third from the bottom. So if I tap on that, that's now enabled, and I'll leave those three all. I'll leave those three minimum elevation, magnitude, threshold, minimum quality. I'll leave them all default because it makes it quicker. Select satellites. Now this is where it gets good. So if I go in there, because I've paid for it, A092 I normally follow. Suppose I won't be able to find it. There it is, A092. So if I, on the right of that, if I tap that, it's now select satellites 3. So I've got 3 I'm following. So you can keep adding to it and that number will go up. So that's now 4. But to make it simpler to look at, I'm going to turn off amateur radio satellites. Top right, I'm pressing done. So now on the main screen, I've got the passes coming up. And I have got visible night and day passes coming up on the screen. But it just so happens there aren't any in the daytime. But I'm not working tomorrow, so I think I'll be up trying to work the space station. Okay, so 1:47 in the morning. 1:47, 1:42 in the morning. Tap on that, and it gives you all the statistics. Start time 1:42, end time 1:47. Maximum elevation it's in the middle and down one. That's very important. Maximum elevation 20 degrees. That's actually a very good one to work with APRS. If you imagine 90 degrees is right above you and 45 degrees is in between above you and the ground. So just point in front of you and raised a bit. So 20 degrees is half of that roughly. Now, when I'm out in the car and I'm using a vertical antenna, a mag mount, the signals come off the side. The RF, the polarization, it comes off the side of the aerial. So 20, 30 degrees normally works very well for me in the car. So we can see where the space station is on a map, but we can't move it. I can't find my country. So down in the bottom right, there's that white circle. If I tap on that, it brings up a big map, and I can move it, and I can pinch, make it bigger or smaller, and find There's where I am at the moment. And that yellow line represents that pass where it would pass by me at the nearest. So that's pretty handy. So I can see that's actually a pretty good one. It might be a bit far, but I'll definitely hear it. You'll be surprised. You'll definitely hear it at that range. You've got centre satellite on the map, bottom left button. Map type, it's best to leave it on the one it's on. You've got radar. That's me sitting in the car, it's not a radar. So details. What was that rate? In the bottom left, that's the radar. So if you move it around, yeah, so you can use augmented reality to overlay that. And the last one is live cam, and there's this just, I think this takes you to NASA TV where you can watch the ISS live if it's broadcasting, or you can just watch, pre-recorded stuff. It's not always available. And what do we got in the top right? We've done the 3 lines. To the left of that, there's a square with a line across it. ISS sightings. So you can create events there. You can create events. But just to get started, add the ISS. Tap on the contact. And click on the white circle in the bottom right, and you can now move freely. You can look around the map. So this is absolutely superb. I highly recommend buying it and supporting the developer. Okay, 73230 UKH.